Right now on News Channel 12 at 5, something to cheer about. Big league ballparks will welcome fans to the stands on opening day in California. Theme parks will open soon too. Feeding those in need. A Los Alamos restaurant teams up with a nonprofit to deliver hot meals. And a breakthrough procedure for those with back pain. A local doctor tells us people are now heading home the same day they have spinal surgery. News Channel 12 at 5 starts right now.
Live from your home team, News Channel 12 at 5 starts right now.
Hello, thanks for being with us. I'm Scott Hennessy. We begin with another major step in reopenings here in California. Starting April 1st, fans can head back to the stands for Major League Baseball games and other outdoor sporting events. And theme parks, including Disneyland, will be allowed to reopen. The announcement came this afternoon amid a decline in COVID cases and hospitalizations. April 1st coincides with baseball's opening day. The San Diego Padres, Los Angeles Angels, and Oakland Athletics all have home openers. Of course, there will be limitations in terms of the number of tickets sold. Theme parks can reopen in the less restrictive red tier at 15% capacity and only to people living in California. We have the full breakdown of capacity limits on our mobile app and website. California is now officially offering financial incentives to get students physically back into classrooms. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the bill this morning. State lawmakers passed the package yesterday. It's worth $6.6 billion. Newsom held a virtual signing ceremony via Zoom to include other state officials.
Let's just get this thing signed and let's get these $6.6 billion. We didn't wait for the federal government. We're moving forward.
In order to receive a portion of the funding, school districts in a county that falls under the state's most restrictive level must return to in-person instruction at least through second grade. Santa Barbara County is in that most restrictive purple tier. The Senate has started a marathon amendment voting spree as Democrats push to pass the president's rescue plan. As Skylar Henry reports, President Biden is also closely watching the Senate vote outcome while hoping for his first legislative win.
Rules of the Senate.
The Senate continues its hours-long so-called vote-a-rama with a final vote on the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan expected sometime over the weekend.
We can no longer tolerate millions of our workers being unable to feed their families because they are working for starvation wages.
7 Democrats and 1 independent sided with Republicans to block an effort by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders to amend the Senate bill with a $15 minimum wage provision. But the vote was held open for hours as negotiations continued behind closed doors. Ahead of the vote, Democrats agreed to maintain federal unemployment benefits at $300 per week and extend them through September. Republicans say Democrat Joe Manchin is leaning towards their proposal to end the benefit in July.
That breakout of bipartisanship has resulted into the Senate coming to a halt because they want it their way or no way.
Here at the White House, the focus also continues on the pandemic and recovery, with President Biden hosting a Friday afternoon roundtable on the American Rescue Plan and meeting with his economic team.
The American Rescue Plan, I believe, and according to the polling data, the vast majority of Americans believe is essential to giving them some help and to turn it around.
Meanwhile, the director of the CDC says she will soon release long-awaited guidelines for those who've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
We are making sure and taking the time to get this right.
Dr. Walensky also urged everyone to double down on prevention measures such as mask wearing.
Santa Barbara County reported 1 new death today. The person lived in the Lompoc area. They were at least 70 years old and had underlying conditions. Public Health says the person was at a congregate care site. 422 people have died of COVID in Santa Barbara County. The county also reported 49 new COVID cases today, bringing the total to 322 active cases. 53 people are hospitalized, including 17 in the intensive care unit. Since this all started, Santa Maria has had 10,861 cases, Santa Barbara 6,043, and Lompoc 3,384. As the vaccine rollout continues, Central Coast doctors are sharing advice for people concerned about reacting to the shot. News Channel 12 reporter Patricia Martellotti joins us live in Santa Maria with tips. Patricia?
Well, doctors here at Marion Regional Medical Center say anytime you get a vaccine, there's always a chance for some side effects, included the COVID-19 vaccine. But they say there are some steps that you can take to minimize potential impacts. Like with other vaccines, doctors say it's normal to have mild side effects after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Some people may just feel out of sorts for a couple of days. They say as the immune system builds up, that's where we get some of these non-specific side effects to the vaccine. Over-the-counter medications such as Tylenol can be effective at limiting the side effects. But doctors say it's important to note that it's not clear if these medications have an effect if you take them before you get vaccinated.
So currently the Centers for Disease Control is recommending that you not use these medications prior to receiving your vaccine, but it is okay if you begin to have side effects after you've received the vaccine.
Robertson says if you plan on taking other types of medications, it's always good to check with your primary care physician first. For now, live in Santa Maria, Patricia Martellotti, News Channel 12.
Thanks, Patricia. The CDC says more than 54 million Americans have received at least one dose of a COVID vaccine. Health officials say more than 2 million vaccines are being given across the country daily. It makes up about 21% of the adult population of the U.S. Federal officials are focusing on high-impact areas. Meanwhile, more states are following Texas's lead in easing pandemic restrictions as case totals drop. 16 will have no mask requirement by next week. Santa Barbara County plans to open up first-dose vaccine appointments at the same time every week. The county says it will open appointments at 9 in the morning every Monday. The appointments are available to people who are eligible, including emergency service workers, food and agriculture workers, and healthcare workers. Separate clinics are taking place for educators. Appointments for those clinics are being distributed by school administrators. San Luis Obispo County got its first shipment of the single-dose Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine, but it won't be administering all of them. County officials say they'll instead reallocate 1,400 of the doses to local pharmacies. SLO County's vaccine clinics will continue to administer the 2-dose Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. San Luis Obispo County reported 5 new COVID-19 related deaths today. 246 people have died of coronavirus in SLO County. The county reports 38 new cases today. There are now 357 active cases. 13 people are hospitalized, 5 of them in the intensive care unit. Paso Robles has had nearly 4,000 cases over the course of this pandemic. San Luis Obispo, 3,737, and Atascadero, 1,866. There have been 2,382 cases reported at the California Men's Colony. Getting hot meals to those in need. That's what a Santa Ynez Valley nonprofit and Los Alamos restaurant teamed up to do. News Channel 12 reporter Scott Sheehan explains how these meals are helping those struggling due to the pandemic.
Ay, muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Norma Rogel got a special delivery. A free hot meal from Bell's Restaurant in Los Alamos.
I feel blessed because all the families, we are with a lot of problems with the money and everything for the pandemic.
She says her 2 sons and husband support the family financially. But when stores closed because of the pandemic, her sons were laid off. And these food deliveries help them make ends meet.
If we have to stretch the money, we put the money in the bills and we cannot buy clothes or food.
Rogel is one of 28 people who get a free meal from Bell's in collaboration with the nonprofit People Helping People.
We do work in conjunction with the Solvang School, and they were able to identify families that the teachers felt that might be coming hungry to school.
These weekly hot meals are just part of what both are doing to help. People Helping People host weekly food distributions at Old Mission Santa Ynez and Los Alamos, while Bell's Restaurant prepares 500 meals a week.
We just realized very quickly, we were doing these takeout meals for people in the community, but that there was a larger swath of people that were food insecure. We're lucky enough to have some private donations right off the bat, where we in turn could take that money and turn it into donated meals for people.
Those donations to Bell's Restaurant are also helping keep more people employed. In Los Alamos, Scott Sheehan, News Channel 12.
Thank you, sir.
Hope you're having a nice Friday so far. Let's check the conditions out there with Julia Espinoza.
Hey there, Scott. Well, for this Friday, it was gorgeous all across. Those areas alongside the coastline did wake up to the marine layer. The further inland you were, it was all about the sunshine with mostly sunny skies. Now at this hour, we're starting to see more mid to high level clouds roll across our area as we expected, and this is ahead of a next storm that's moving our way. And the farther out you see, out towards the coastal areas, you are able to start to see that cloud cover moving on in. Now, conditions for today, warmed up if you were inland. If you were close to the coastline and you were impacted by the marine layer, as a result, it was another cool day. We fell below average in Santa Maria, reaching 61 degrees as opposed to 65, an expected temperature for this time of year. In San Luis Obispo, it was 64, and then an area that did not deal with the marine layer saw the difference, with Paso Robles warming up to 73, Lompoc 62, Pismo Beach, it was cool at 58 degrees. Your temperatures now are much cooler. We are sitting in the upper 50s right alongside the coastline. Santa Maria, you're at 56, out towards Paso Robles, 62 degrees, Pismo Beach sitting at 58 degrees. We're starting to see that cloud cover tucked on in, as I showed you right there, a live view from Tempest-Cay. This is what they're seeing down below, just some low-level clouds moving on in, along with the mid to high-level clouds. And this is ahead of a trough that's going to be bringing us the potential for light scattered showers as we go towards tonight and into tomorrow morning. We track down just how much rain we could observe this weekend. Coming up shortly, Scott, sending it back to you.
Okay, be interested to hear more about that, Julia. Thank you. A coalition of local leaders announced a new partnership to help plan future use of Diablo Canyon. The new group included elected officials at the local, state, and federal levels, as well as Cal Poly, the Land Conservatory of San Luis Obispo, the YTT Northern Chumash, and others. During an online presentation this morning, they laid out a vision for the property, focusing on job creation and clean energy innovation at the 600-acre site where the power plant is located, as well as preserving the surrounding 12,000-acre property that includes 14 miles of pristine coastline.
We believe this transition will involve good-paying jobs in STEM-related fields with ripple effects in building and construction trades, development, project management, logistics, and beyond, with benefits that will be felt across our region.
Diablo Canyon currently provides about 1,500 head of household jobs and supplies around 9% of the state's annual power. The plant is scheduled to close in 2025. A new advancement in spinal surgery is now available on the Central Coast through Tenet Health. The first doctor to perform the procedure in San Luis Obispo County tells me people can now have back surgery and go home the same day.
This is an advancement of decades of surgical procedures.
Dr. James Carr says back surgery no longer requires a 6 to 10-inch incision and a long hospital stay. He's the first surgeon in SLO County to perform an oblique lumbar inner body fusion. With this new minimally invasive procedure, people can get back home and on with their lives.
You're able to have a major spine surgery and go home that day or the next day. It's definitely the future.
About 8 in 10 Americans have some back pain. Dr. Carr says 99% of the patients he sees every day say they absolutely do not want surgery. But for those who get it, this targeted approach is a game changer.
We're not going to go in and fix your entire spine or try to correct 75 years of being on this earth. But what we could do is target an area where we could actually go in and improve your pain.
With COVID concerns leading a push for more outpatient operations, this breakthrough fits the times.
This procedure translates to increased improved outcomes, decreased hospitalization, and decrease in pain.
And still ahead on News Channel 12 at 5, more shock emerging from Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah. The reason Meghan says she wasn't allowed to speak for herself.
The rain is heading our way with a few more systems into next week. Your first alert forecast coming up.
Plus, Iraq's first ever papal visit, the purpose of Pope Francis's trip there. Much more ahead.